On February 28, 2025, you may have heard that Zelensky, who visited the White House, had a clash with President Trump and Vice President Vance. It is explained that Zelensky's major blunder, and the European leaders' declaration of support, were misjudgments by foolish leaders. If you interpret it normally, I think that is correct. I agree. But was it really a sudden occurrence? 2 days before the phone call between President Trump and President Putin, Russian philosopher Alexander Dugin said this.
What has transpired in the United States following Donald Trump's victory in the presidential elections, the inauguration process, and the transfer of power demonstrates that we are witnessing a rapid process of conservative revolution in the U.S. The system of values is changing in a direction almost diametrically opposed to its previous trajectory. The principles Trump and his team are proclaiming, along with the initial steps they are taking, stand in complete contradiction to the left liberal ideology underpinning the orientations, strategies, and actions of the globalists. Essentially, what is happening today is a profound transformation and even a schism within the West into two poles. One of these poles remains left liberal and globalist. It has been embodied by Biden and almost all his predecessors, including Republican George W. Bush Jr., who posed no alternative to the left liberal agenda. The second pole, however, is Trump and Trumpism itself. This is conservative America, which has essentially rejected left liberal ideology entirely, advocating instead right conservative principles. Notably, this is no longer even right liberal but distinctly right conservative, as many representatives of the Trumpist camp speak of post-liberal values and outright rejection of liberalism as such. The very word liberal is becoming a slur in America. These changes are occurring so dynamically and rapidly that many have not yet grasped just how substantial these transformations are, both for the West as a whole and for American society in particular. Globalist left liberal values are being replaced by traditional ones. There is a shift from liberal progressivism to conservatism and even traditionalism. In fact, Trump and the Trumpists are promoting a value system closely aligned with the one proclaimed by Russia. In this regard, Putin's decree number 809 on traditional values, Russia's ban on the promotion of perversions and gender politics, the emphasis on patriotism, prioritizing the spiritual over the material, and many other foundational principles are now being realized by Trump.
Zelensky made this comment at the Munich Security Conference.
Mr. President, Trump was asked whether he trusted Putin. And he sort of basically ended up saying, on this, I do. But he has also said that, and frankly, it's quite difficult to extract what all the different administration officials have been saying. On the one hand, potentially that, you know, maybe Ukraine had a responsibility for this war. Maybe Ukraine can't ever expect to get back. It's unrealistic, according to the defense secretary, its territory. Maybe Ukraine will be safe and independent. Maybe it'll be part of Russia. Do you understand what America's position is?
Yes.
Which is?
I think, to my mind, they are preparing atmosphere for their dialogue.
For their dialogue, which will be?
For the dialogue between Trump and Putin. And I think this is, it's up to them, but they can discuss everything they want, but not about Ukraine without us. And that's why in this case, especially in this case, I think it's a little bit dangerous. That's why I said that we need to talk more with the president and to talk more with his people, with his teams. Yesterday, as you said, yes, we had good conversation, and I think that I opened some new details for vice president. That's why I said we need. It's not waste time. It's really very important, I think, diplomatic investment for the future, just and lasting peace for Ukraine.
You said Putin doesn't want peace. I mean, you just said it loud and clear here.
It's true.
So what is the dialogue? And have you convinced the Americans that A, Ukraine has to be at the table, and B, I guess the Europeans have to convince them. Did you get a commitment from President Trump that you would meet with him first? Do you have a plan to meet with the president?
No, we have our plan, of course. It's our country, and that's why it's our plan.
What is Zelensky's plan?
American money, good. Give us 250 billions, which are here in Europe, frozen Russian assets. No answer.
On February 17th, did the European leaders gather for an emergency meeting to discuss Zelensky's plan? The leaders who gathered on this day, French President Emmanuel Macron, included the leaders of the UK, Germany, Poland, Italy, the Netherlands, Spain, and Denmark, as well as European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, and NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte.
Europe must play its role, and I'm prepared to consider committing British forces on the ground, alongside others, if there is a lasting peace agreement. But there must be a US backstop, because a US security guarantee is the only way to effectively deter Russia from attacking Ukraine again.
Hier wird über die Köpfe der Ukraine hinweg über das Ergebnis von Friedensgesprächen, die nicht stattgefunden haben und bei denen die Ukraine nicht Ja gesagt hat und nicht am Tisch gesessen hat, über mögliche Varianten von Ergebnissen gesprochen. Das ist höchst unangemessen, um es ganz offen und ehrlich zu sagen.
I am very concerned about making a fast ceasefire because it can actually give Putin and Russia a better possibility to go back to Russia and to re-ramp and to mobilize again, attack Ukraine or another country in Europe.
Również była zgoda, jednomyślność, że zwiększenie, i to wyraźne zwiększenie wydatków na obronność, że jest czymś absolutnie koniecznym i że nie ma co się irytować, kiedy sojusznik amerykański mówi: wydawajcie więcej, bądźcie silniejsi, bądźcie odporniejsi, bo to akurat te słowa znajdują absolutnie uzasadnienie.
On the same day, Zelensky said this.
Вона повинна бути сильною для будь-якої дипломатії. Хочу ще раз це підкреслити.
Але США не лише потенційний посередник в переговорах, це країна, яка надає величезні обсяги допомоги Україні і яка може спонукати нас до того, щоб ми сіли за стіл переговорів. Який меседж ви отримали від Дональда Трампа під час тих контактів, які у вас з ним були? Тобто як він каже? Він каже: я стану президентом і сідайте за стіл переговорів. Як це виглядає?
Я думаю, що він так не каже. Ми незалежна Україна, і мені здається, в час цієї війни наш народ, і я особисто в перемовинах зі Сполученими Штатами Америки і з Трампом, і з Байденом, і з іншими європейськими лідерами довели, що з нами риторика «сідай і слухай» не працюючи. І це не через те, що ми такі, а через те, що так ми повинні відноситись, в принципі, до будь-якої країни, будь-якого народу, будь-якого лідера. Поважати. Це, в принципі, рівність, одна з цих цінностей, за які ми боремося сьогодні.
On this day, Alexander Dugin posted the following on X. Globalists hate Putin's Russia exactly for the same reasons they hate Trump's USA. Both are citadels of the ideology opposite to their own in any senses. So the war against Russia in Ukraine is the war against tradition, sovereignty and identity. It is the war against Trump.